Factory pattern is the creational pattern that provides a default interface to create a superclass, but subclasses can alter the objects that will be created. Imagine that you're creating the next Amazon logistics center where you have cars, trucks, and drones. At first, you'll need to deliver only with trucks, so you create a vehicle class. After a while, you realize that for some zones in some cities, you cannot deliver by truck, and then you decided that some deliveries need to be made by car. After a while, you need to deliver in some remote areas, so you need to deliver the packages by drones. And soon you realize that this will bite you in the butt. This also hurts the solids open-closed principle, where a class is open for extension and closed for change. The solution is to use the factory method pattern. That suggests to replace direct object construction calls using the new operator with calls to a special factory method. The factory is going to create the objects needed under the hood when you pass the object type. The classes should implement the same interface. This interface should declare methods that make sense for all related classes. For example, we are going to have the interface transport that will have the method deliver. Then you need to implement the concrete classes based on this interface. The first one is going to be car transport that implements the transport interface, then drone transport and truck transport that are going to implement the same interface. Create a class that is going to be responsible for the object's creation, and let's call it here transport factory. Add an empty factory method inside of it and type the return to be the common transport interface created earlier. Now, in the create transport method, you can create references to other classes based on the transport type that will receive in the parameters. To make things even better, you can create transport map in the constructor. And now you can call the factory on the client code. Alright, when you should use actually the factory method pattern? First of all, when you don't know beforehand what are the types and dependencies for the objects that you are going to work with. 2, when you want to provide to your users, to the users of your library or framework, whatever, to extend a behavior from your components. And 3, when you want to save system resources by reusing objects instead of rebuilding them every time. What are the advantages of using the factory method, right? Well, first of all, you're going to avoid type coupling. Second, you're going to respect the open-close principle, so whenever you are creating a class, you're hardly going to need to change it. And even if you do, the damage is going to be only local. And the third, you're going to respect the symbol responsibility principle. One place alone will be responsible for creating the objects, and every class is going to be responsible to create one object. What are the cons of this pattern is like your code is going to be slightly more complex than just creating if else's everywhere, but way more maintainable. Many projects, they might start using the factory method pattern in the beginning. However, as the code evolves, other patterns can be also implemented, such as the abstract factory pattern, prototype, and builder. So I'll cover them all here. Right? I'll let the source code in the description for much better, well structured. Also, if you want to know more about design patterns, I'm doing this series where I'm going through the most important design patterns. Links in the description down below. If you like this type of video, please consider to subscribe to the channel, hit a like, ring the bell, you know what to do, right? Thank you very much, guys. See you in the next one. Signing out. Bye bye.